welcome to this week's episode of Macgasm. I'm Brandon Schnell.
I'm Luca.
Luca what? You have a last name?
No.
He's the cameraman.
I'm Luca Fiore. What's going on?
So this week we have some video products, kind of things that we want to show off. First we have lights that we wanted to talk about.
But first, this week's episode of Macgasm is brought to you by FlickPad. Browse your Flickr and Facebook photos directly on the iPad. FlickPad is 99 cents and it's on the App Store.
Luca, why don't you tell us the light that you have first?
This is what's called the Z96. I found this on eBay, and truthfully, I don't know where else to find it other than eBay. And what's good about it is there's a few different ways to power it. One is via AA batteries, and the other, which I have now, is a Sony battery port. Much like Brennan's, it has a hot shoe mount. I just don't have it mounted on there, but it just screws right in there. And the best part about this is here are the filters. They mount on via magnets. Like there's the light itself. Bam, bam. It's super sweet. Anyway, pros, it's light. It's 75 bucks, whereas Brennan's is much more expensive than that. It's 96 LEDs. It's arguably more powerful with a wider spread. Cons, this filter sucks. It's not really a CTO. It's more of a, like a straw, like almost like a yellow, but it's bad. And that's what it's junk. It's, what I would normally do is just take a little bit of CTO and put it on here and then just like latch it on with the diffusion. With the diffusion's just fine. And it's bright as balls.
A little blue though, eh?
Yeah, Bill, that's daylight balance for you.
And what's the warranty on that thing?
0 days. I think there might be a return policy depending on what eBay buyer you buy it from, like 14 days, something like that. There's like, if it breaks, c'est la vie. Oh, and one more con. This is actually kind of a big deal, is the AA battery port to it. It works. However, when they start to die out, those AA batteries, this light starts to flicker, and it's a real pain after that. So I'd honestly say that there's only really one way to power this, and that's with the Sony battery ports, which will cost you a little bit more. So with the battery and a second battery and a charger and the light itself, it'll probably cost you around $100. Yeah, it's a really good light, but there's just a few issues with it.
So now I have the Litepanel LP Micro. It's a little smaller than Luca's. 4 AA batteries on the back. It has an adjustable knob at the top to dim it, the light down if you want. It comes with the full CTO and then the half-cut CTO and then a diffusion. It also has this little plastic grill in the front to actually hold your gels. One of the downfalls is the little knob falls off where you adjust the power. And your batteries die pretty quickly. You might get an hour and a half out of it, and they're croaking on you. Whereas when they die, it doesn't flicker; it just dims really quickly. So you could be in the middle of shooting and have no idea what your power levels are at, and then.
That's one thing I like about the Sony batteries is that when they die, bam, it just turns off. And these are the lowest capacity Sony batteries like that you can buy. Yeah. So you can get like big giant ones as well, but
this does have a DC, and it does have, you can buy an accessory for the back for the battery.
How much does it cost, Brendan?
This is $300.
$300. You could buy 3 of these.
But like they say, you get what you pay for, and there is a warranty on them. Yep. So you can swap them out if you have any problems.
Worth noting that Litepanels is an industry standard that if you go on a $10 million Hollywood set, you will find like you'll probably find a Litepanels 1x1, they call them.
Yeah, they're the bigger ones.
Yep.
The other thing that I didn't like about these is the gels. I wish they had the magnets like Luca's, because you're not going to run into bending these, tearing these, breaking these, even losing them. With those, they just stack them on top of each other, and you're not gonna go anywhere. These, I find they end up in my bag. They end up in a different compartment. Next thing you know, I'm going, where's the full or where's the diffuser, and I can't find them. And then the other thing is when you actually stick them on, it's a bit of a pain, and you kind of just shove them and they start bending, or you take this plastic piece off and it's not as easy as magnets would be. But all in all, I guess our next step would be just to show them the difference between the two in a dark situation and what each one does. So I guess we'll cut over to that now. Difference, the idea.
So you'll notice that it's a little bit spotty. And this is no gain on the camera, no added anything, just straight up what the camera is capable of.
About, I would say 3 feet away from
but bam. So it's got a nice wide spread to it. I'm just gonna like cut out a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, I could pretty much fill that whole space.
Lucas also has another, 2 rows of lights?
Yeah, I have 96 LEDs in mine, and I think Brennan's has 48. So, you know, there it is. There's like a power difference right there. But yeah, it's bright as brightness. Josh, how bright is that?
That's as bright as the sun, dude.
That's the sun.
The sun.
It's terribly inaccurate.
Next up, we got 2 cases that we'd like to review, kind of more for people who are traveling. It can be used for photography gear or videographer gear or pretty much anything. You can stick anything in these cases.
You can stick part of a dead body. All right, so this is the Pelican 1510. You'll notice as soon as I open it, it's got this nice little area there.
It comes with there's the 2 holes that you can put locks on it, which are very useful, and it's waterproof.
Yep.
So you can drop it in. I know people who've dropped them into lakes.
Bone dry. They're watertight.
So they are watertight. They have 2 wheels and an extendable handle on the back. It looks like you have a custom lid that was made.
Yep. What's it? Brennan got a custom lid on his, and honestly, it seems so dynamite that I thought I'd get one on mine. It's just like, it's meant for my 17-inch Mac Pro that I did from MacBook Pro, sorry. That's what's it? These guys, they're local in town called Custom Cases, and they did a great job. And in all honesty, I've got really no complaints with it. It's heavy for a reason because it's tough. I can sit on it. It makes a really useful stool. And I guess the only really noticeable and terrible thing about it is, I'll just show you real quick, is these wheels. They suck. Like, they're powerful bad. It's arguably too short. I trip on it. They have no turning radius to them.
And I can second Luca's statement there, because when I was going, I was using it a lot for coming in and out of airports, and going down the aisleway with them. When you go into some of these airplanes from first class, go like this, and like the rest of us folk that have to sit in economy, it turns a little bit, then goes down the aisle like that. And when you turn, I always caught it coming around the corner, and it always hit the person in the leg or something. So I always had to be careful coming around that.
Yep.
But the turning radius on them do suck, but they're not really meant for the wheels.
I just think you're just a bad person.
I wanted to try something a little different for my camera gear, traveling so much. I got in touch with the folks at Think Tank, and they were great. We reviewed one of their bags earlier in the Macgasm Podcast, and they sent me the Think Tank Airport International version 2. And this thing is perfect for anybody traveling. If you're traveling on a lot of flights and you just want to make sure you have your gear with you at all times, this is the bag you need to get. It has rollerblade wheels that are easily replaceable if they start wearing out. These things, the turning radius, Luca, are so much different. So you roll this bag around an airport and you're going to notice. That's right. Well, so then the next thing is they actually have a lock here that's TSA approved. So you don't actually have to unlock it. If you're traveling in the United States, they'll just unlock it with a key to get in your bag. You see here, you actually can lock your zippers in here. Comme ça. And then whenever you want to get in your bag like that. So there's that one lock. The other thing I want to mention too before I get on the top of the bag is there's also a handle on the bottom, which is great. Because whenever you stick your bag into a trunk, into a small compartment,
it's always awesome to have like a handle on literally every side.
That's right. So when you pull it out,
I notice there's a handle on the other side.
And then there's I should show you this side. This side actually comes with a tripod little pouch that you can strap your tripod onto the side of this.
Yep.
The top of the bag has a slot for your business cards. Then the other thing is the handle, which actually zips up, and I'll get to the handle later, because I have a little bit of a complaint with that. So a full handle that comes out. And then, moving on to the back, one more security feature, and another lock that's built into the frame.
Oh man.
So whenever you're traveling or sitting down and you gotta go to the washroom and someone's there, or, I mean, I've even done this, I've had this bag in my trunk, and I've left the bag in my trunk, and a lot of people's gear gets stolen when they leave in their trunk. But I strap this into my trunk too if I'm leaving my bag in my trunk. Anytime I go anywhere and my bag's gonna be in my back, it gets locked down. So these things just, this bag has so many locks.
That is brilliant right there to have one right attached into there.
And then there's this pouch here that I just stick some cables and some headphones in. There's also another lock. Yeah, they've thought of everything. A place to hook your keys, another place to put more passports. There's also pockets for pens and other zip-up pouches for more papers or cables. Now on the inside of this sucker, very deep. This bag is very, very deep.
Not poetically.
So I've got my rapid strap, my wireless triggers for my flashes. This bag comes with a weatherproof pouch. I have 2 power adapters. I've got one SB600, a second SB600, a Lens Baby with a wide angle. I have a Lens Baby, another Lens Baby adapter, the aperture rings for the Lens Baby, my Hoodman loop, a 18 to 55 lens. I've got my Visible Dust Arctic Butterfly, my Nikon SB900, 2 battery chargers, a 70 to 200 2.8. I have my 24 to 70. I have my D60 body in here, and I have my D300S with battery grip and 50mm 1.4. So that pretty much sums up this bag. I keep a lot of stuff in here. There's only one problem. So I'm gonna just stick the case like this. The handle, first off, if you have fat fingers, and I don't, I have little girly hands. But if you have fat fingers, and this is pushed all the way in, there's no way you're shoving your finger in here to push this button and have it come out. You need to use a second hand because it's not spring loaded. I wish that this handle was spring loaded, so when you push the button, it pops up a little bit.
I see.
But it's not. So if you have fat fingers and want to use one hand, you can't, like, you gotta like figure out.
Get in there.
That's right. So I guess I just kind of dealt with it, and then the only other thing that I've noticed is it gets a little flimsy when it's fully extended. So all in all, I would recommend this case to anybody traveling. This is a must-have. If you're traveling a lot, taking a lot of flights, you need to buy this case. And this case retails for around $300 Canadian, and you can't go wrong. If you want something on wheels that you want to get around easily with, this is your case. So that's it for this week of Macgasm. I'm Brendan Schnell, and you can follow me at twitter.com/eastscene, and make sure you subscribe to our podcasts on YouTube. We're on iTunes. We release posts with this embedded, so just make sure you check that out and keep coming back to the site. And you are?
My name is Luca Fiore, and you can find me at twitter.com/Valkaline. I'm new, so be gentle.
And yeah, that's it.
Peace out.
Later.
Wait, yeah.
Eyeballs. So, why did you take the shotgun mic off the loop?
Oh, just because like it makes it easier to plug in, that there's less stuff in the way. I don't know. I also hate you.